Hey everybody, I'm live. It's John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope. We are America's first and largest nonprofit financial services network for the poor, the working class, and the struggling middle class. Folks with too much month at the end of their money. One of my staff members called it once the teetering class. We're leading something we're calling the civil rights movement, moving in the suites, not just the streets, not so much about race and the color line, really about class and poverty. If you deal with class, you get race for free. It's about economic uplift and helping you do for yourself and providing economic opportunity and aspiration for all. It's opening the free enterprise economy to everybody, and that means you. I'm also author of a couple best-selling books. You might want to pick up Love Leadership, The New Way of Leading the Fear-Based World. Banking on Our Future is a book for your children and you on financial literacy. And my last book, How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, is a bestseller in translated into 5 languages. Now, if you want to help Operation Hope and join this movement, go to operationhope.org and sign up. Be a volunteer, be a mentor, be a role model. Bring us to your school, bring us to your church, your mosque, your synagogue, your nonprofit, your corporation, become a member. There's many ways you can engage. Now, let me get into what I'm building. I did a What I'm Building piece on Hope Business Box Academies, creating young entrepreneurs in elementary, middle school, and high school. We have natural talent and natural gifts with our kids, connecting education and aspiration, and doing a pitch event in these kids' auditoriums. Think Shark Tank for kids, and funding their businesses up to $500 with money that goes into a bank account, and then assigning a role model to them in Gallup, our partner, doing entrepreneurship strength finders on the front end of that experience that help kids figure out what they're good at, because all they are told is what they are bad at, and helping them to connect that with their dreams and aspirations. If you can't get a job, my philosophy is create a job. That's where Google and Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff came from, were college and high school students who decided they wanted to change the world by changing their own life, and we can do that too. There's a Steve Jobs on every block in Detroit, every block in Atlanta, every block in LA, every block in Philly. There's a Steve Jobs. Now, what am I doing for adults? What am I doing for you? What are we building? This is one of the biggest and most important announcements I'll ever make. We're bringing hope inside. Now, I talked about the Freedmen's Bank in one of these videos. Go back, please, and watch that video. Please go back also and watch the video on the Hope Business Box Academies. Please spread that to your friends. All this is free. Over 1 million viewers. It's all free. It's an open source university. There's no agenda other than empowering you. And here's another drop the mic moment. I'm going to finish what President Lincoln started with the Freedmen's Bank. I'm going to try to continue and extend what Dr. King talked about with the Poor People's Campaign in '68. We're going to do Hope Inside. Hope Inside of bank branches, grocery stores, big box retailers, houses of faith, government offices, academic institutions, nonprofits, churches like Ebenezer Church, we have here in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're going to, I'm going to learn to stand straight too. We're going to learn to change the nature of the business environment by changing the institutions where people do business, by helping banks get out of the no business and get into the yes business, by moving credit scores. This is one example, 120 points in 24 months. Yes, that's what we do. We're moving credit scores 120 points in 24 months. There's nothing that changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. And the communities I care about, that you care about, be they black and brown and urban or white and rural, those communities are 500 credit score neighborhoods. Outside of a military base, 500 credit score neighborhoods are being preyed upon by financial predators who want to separate you from your wallet. And I'm going to put them out of business legally using the free enterprise system and using you as a battering ram to say no to their abusive products and saying yes to a new opportunity for you. So Hope Insides are going to be like the Starbucks of financial inclusion. We're opening offices across the country. 1,000 locations by 2020 is my goal. Yes, I said that right. 1,000 locations. Somebody's now saying this dude is crazy. Okay, I have 300 orders in the last 24 months. We're opening an office every 10 days. I'm opening 7 offices this month alone. I'm coming to Detroit with 100 offices. I'm coming to Atlanta, which by 2020, with 100 offices. And we're going to open these Hope Insides across the country. And here's some of the things that we do. I already just mentioned we've raised credit scores. We do a whole piece on the Earned Income Tax Credit. If you don't know what that is and you make less than $50,000 a year, stop what you're doing right now. Go to the internet, type in EITC. The government owes you a check. We're going to help you process your EITC and get your money back. I'm going to do a whole video on this, but basically, if you make $50,000 a year or less and you work in this country, the government owes you a check, a bonus for working. So Lady walk, best way to describe Hope Inside is to describe sort of an example. Lady walks to a SunTrust. We're in Hope Inside in SunTrust banks, Regions banks, Synovus banks, PNC bank, BB&T bank, 2 Hyatt hotels. We're going into 2 Whole Foods. Hello. We're going into the Detroit Regional Hospital. We are going into the Atlanta Police Department. We're in the St. Louis City Hall with Tishard Jones, the city treasurer there. We're outside of Ferguson in a Regions Bank branch. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. We're in Banco Popular in 4 boroughs in New York City. We're in Miami. We're in Jacksonville and some Orlando with SunTrust banks. We're what's another bank that we're in? First Tennessee Bank, First Horizon Bank. That's 15 locations going into Tennessee. So we're coming hard. The Delta Regional Authority has given us $300,000 to open some locations in Arkansas. Mutual of Omaha Bank just opened, is giving us some money to open a location in Omaha, Nebraska. So we're coming hard. Okay, so lady walks into a SunTrust bank branch in Memphis, Tennessee. She's got a credit score of 550. She wants a mortgage to buy a home. She's turned down. Now, because of redlining, which was accurate and true, we were redlined against. The new laws basically mean the bank has to process every application they get. So they know you're going to be disapproved. When you want to apply, they know you will not apply for, be approved for that loan, but by law, they've got to process you through the end, right? And so it's like a slow-moving train wreck. It's like watching grass grow, right? And so they wait. You pay an appraisal fee, an application fee, right? And they're just doing what the law says, right? So they go through the entire process, and then 45 years later, they tell you no. Now, what's your reaction? You're undeniably, understandably upset. They wasted your money and your time and your mind. So now you're ready to storm out the door. And at the SunTrust Bank branch in Memphis, they said, wait. Just hold on a minute. Can you please just walk across the hall and talk to the counselors, the financial coaches at Hope Inside? We have a great one in Detroit. Crystal is a great one in Detroit. We have great ones across the country. So go see one of our coaches. So they walk in, talk to the young lady. We sit down. We pull her credit report. And first thing we do, we pull her credit report with her authorization, take a look at it. Woo, baby, it was like a bus accident. we have a nice laugh because it's okay to make a mistake. It doesn't make you a mistake. It's okay to screw up. It doesn't make you a screw up, right? Everybody makes mistakes. A saint is a sinner that got up. Okay, fine. Your credit is toe up from the flow up. Fine. My credit was toe up too. I was homeless for 6 months of my life when I was 18. Okay, fine. Close to bankruptcy. Me. So we work with her. We pull her credit report. Find out there's an error. By the way, if you have a 500 credit score, there's an error in your credit report. I guarantee you. If you haven't checked your credit, there's an error in your credit report. And by the way, half of employers check your credit, so this is a serious deal. Okay, so before they'll hire you, so we pull the error on the credit report. We write a letter to the credit bureaus, not to get emotional. Didn't say it was racism. Didn't say it was we need to march, right? We just wrote a letter to the credit bureaus because the law states if you challenge something on a credit report and the credit bureaus or the providers cannot confirm it within 30 days, they must remove it. So we challenged this credit report. And they removed it, the error, because it was not right? So she got a 40-point pop in her credit report. So now she's 550. Now that goes up to 590 in this example. Okay, now she has a little more confidence. Her self-esteem is up. She's, okay, I can do this. What's next? Okay, we say you got a charge-off for $1,000 from SBC Communications. Yeah, I had a divorce, and it was a phone bill, and I didn't get out of hand. The kids were on the phone, and I didn't pay it, and that was a charge-off from 10 years ago. Okay, but it's yours. Yeah, it's mine. Okay, great. So we note at the bottom that Joe's Finance Company owns the debt. Why? Because SBC was bought by Pacific Bell. Pacific Bell was bought by AT&T. The companies don't even exist anymore, and they sold this bad debt off to Joe's Finance Company. I know that Joe's Finance Company bought it for 5 cents on the dollar, so we bought it for $50. That account. So we call Joe's Finance Company with the client on the phone. And how much do you want for this debt? We want $100. Okay, don't focus on the fact that they're making money on your account because it was your debt, right? Don't get upset. You got the debt. You ran up the phone bill. It was $1,000. Be lucky you're getting 90% off, right? Pay your bills, for God's sake. So or at least own up to it, right? So we said fine, $100 for the debt. How about $200? The guy said, well, I only want $100. No, we want to pay you $200. He said, well, why would you pay me double what I'm asking for? I said, because if we pay you $200 versus $100, we need you to do a bit more work. We need you to write a letter to, in this case, Mrs. Jones, confirming she's paid her debt. And write another letter to the credit bureaus confirming that this is satisfied. We want this removed from her credit report. And we need to be able to contact you or your supervisor if there's a problem in the future. But for that, we'll pay you a premium. They said, great. So they got to double their money deal. And my client got 80% off the debt. Everybody, fair exchange, no robbery, Rod McGrew, my best friend, would say, and everybody's better. She got a 30-point pop on her credit report. So now she's at 620 credit score. And now she's in the game. She's like, okay, I understand this. I can do this. What's next? So now she's taking her life back, and we get her credit score up another 10 points, walk her back across the hall 90 days later to SunTrust Banks, where she got a $140,000 mortgage to buy a new home at a better interest rate. And she's a homeowner with a roof over her head, paying her mortgage, being a taxpayer in Memphis, which is what they desperately need, and with the dignity and pride of knowing she owns it. She's not paying any more for a mortgage than she paid for rent, but now she owns it. It's hers, right? And when she pays that mortgage off, she can pass that asset on to her children. In the meantime, she gets a tax write-off and a lot of other benefits from owning a home. But most of all, she feels better about herself, and she was treated with dignity. That's what we're going to do at Hope Inside. And the guy who made this suit, Brian Taylor of Drobe Clothing, we put in business through the same process. I won't take you to the whole deal, but $35,000 loan turned into $1 million a year business. Look it up on the internet, Drobe Clothing. Ryan Taylor, go talk to the brother. He makes great suits, African-American entrepreneur, a few employees, 3, 4, 5, 6 employees. But that's the heart of America, right? And that's how we take this country back, take our place in it. The best revenge is success, not getting angry. This is about taking your life back. I'm at 12 minutes. Let me take some comments and questions. Thanks for doing what you do in my hometown of Detroit. I want to work there, but I'm living in Texas. Read the most recent Detroiter magazine. They feature our work. You'll learn about what we're doing in Detroit. We're making some announcements there soon. Our board, our new employee, Ryan Mack there, who's leading our movement there, and working with the Detroit Chamber, the mayor, and the Detroit Land Bank and others. So we're coming to Detroit hard, Greg, Ricks. Tiffany joined Mustafa. Are you coming to Dallas, Fort Worth? Besides repairing my credit, what else can I do to improve my financial situation? Look, go to Operation Hope. We're basically a private banker for the working poor, the working class, the struggling middle class, the teetering class. People who wear suits and ties like this are ashamed to admit that they got money problems. Number one cause for divorce is money. Number one cause for domestic abuse is money. Number one reason why women stay with abusive men is money. Number one cause for stress is heart attacks. Number one cause for heart attacks is stress and money, right? So we got to start dealing with our drama and dealing with our issues. And my counselors are holistic. They deal with the whole body of your issues, work you through your problems forward, and then start looking at your aspirations going forward, becoming a homeowner, entrepreneur, small business owner, taking your life back, et cetera, helping you get a job, et cetera. So call one of my counselors. Carol, I just heard you give a Memphis story. I think she was asking for that, Carol. Brian Dees, who is the target market for Hope Inside. Anybody who makes $50,000 a year or less, Brian, is our target for Hope Inside. It's half of the American population. I want 1,000 locations of Hope Inside across the country on a sustainable basis. And if we can do that, we're going to raise credit scores to 700 in these neighborhoods and put the predators out of business. But more importantly, be a resource of empowerment for every working family in this country for free, I might add. We're partners with the SBA, with HUD, CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I think I said the SBA, Treasury Department, Comptroller of the Currency. We're the only nonprofit allowed to operate inside of a bank branch in America's history. What about Louisiana? Yeah, we're coming to Louisiana. I just need a sponsor there. Good luck and Godspeed. Peter, thank you. November Breeze today. How do I get started today, Mr. Bryant? Go to operationhope.org. Are you coming to Chicago? Yes, we are. We're going to be in a Hyatt hotel for the employees of Hope Inside, for the employees in Chicago, and we're going to be in a Whole Foods in Inglewood, Illinois, outside of Chicago, and I have other plans there. Alfred, Mr. Bryant, home ownership is the way to go. Absolutely. Wet joins and others. Okay, we're at 14 minutes. Hope you've enjoyed this. This is what I'm building. I'll continue this as part of a series. Let me know what else you want me to talk about and how you want me to talk about it. And as you can see from me almost falling down in the middle of the presentation, I fell on the ottoman, that this is direct. It's me. There's no editing. There's no handlers. There's no PR. I'm talking to you direct. I'm talking to you straight. There's no script. I'm talking from my heart. I love you very much. Let's take our lives back. Start today. I'm out. Civil rights.